Hey guys, Marsinger here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the fully EZA'd MVP Android 17 against the Metal Cooler Core Red Zone. So this one will be an interesting one for him because obviously we do get a pretty decent amount of opportunity here for him to build up before we get to the actual Metal Cooler Core, especially because he's on the first turn. So obviously I feel like we mention this every time we do this event, so I'm sure you guys who watch the majority of these videos have heard me say this a million times already, but the Metal Cooler army, you always fight for 3 turns. You can't kill them, right? Even with the hardest hitting units in the game, you can't kill them before 3 turns are over. So this event is actually really, really good compared to some other Red Zone stages for when you have a team that have a lot of units that need to build up, and either whether attacking or defending, right? Because you're going to be in here for 3 turns, so units who have to attack a whole bunch of times, even if they're doing tons of damage, they're never going to kill the enemy, so they're going to get all those attacks off. And then units that need to be hit a certain number of times, the Metal Cooler army attacks like a crazy amount, and there you go, straight away. So we talked about this in the showcase that I put up for him earlier, because we were talking about it on the stream. I gave MVP 17 the full dodge build, and you can see there straight away, even on the first turn, he's been hit 3 times. So his passive is now fully maxed out. So he is now at his best, aside from obviously his full passive being active when we get below 77% HP. Which means when we get to the Metal Cooler Core, because you see here, like, we're taking a little bit of damage, but not too much. And this does actually work out quite nicely for us. We can probably get to the core well, actually, to be fair, we're going to get to the core on the turn where 17 isn't on the rotation, so it'll be interesting to see how much damage we take in that first turn. And then of course 17 is going to be able to come in potentially with that damage reduction, because when he has that damage reduction active, he's going to be an insanely strong defensive unit, and he's providing a little bit of extra defense to everybody else as well. He gives 77% defense to all allies when he has that full passive. It's kind of funny because someone was talking about it earlier. I think it was on the Twitter comments of the video, like when I posted the link to the showcase, is the fact that, like, because he supports all allies, that would have made it so that he actually could have worked well with Super 17 if he was differently designed. Because obviously not only does he not fit on Super 17's leader skill, but then even if he wanted to run them together under a different leader skill and run an Android like team, Super 17 pre-fused and fused is actively worse if you're running him with super type allies. So yeah, that is I think a major thing. Like, we can all complain about, you know, his fusion condition, which I think should be better, but him having that extreme allies restriction when androids is already such a limited team already anyway, I think was a really dumb decision, right? If you take away that needing to be with full extreme allies from 17, the SCR 17s, I think they could actually be pretty good when being run with this MVP 17. So we're about 80% HP, so he doesn't have his full buffs here. He does have the Android Assault link active with Gamma 2, which is a pretty good link for defense. Again, I don't really want to heal too much, although I suppose this is the thing where you kind of have to roll the dice, right? Because we might take damage from the Metal Cooler Core in the first turn against him, depending on who he decides to super attack. Who have we got on the next rotation? We should be pretty good defensive wise for the next rotation, unless it's Gamma 2 that eats a super. So I think I won't bother picking up any same type orbs for now. So, I mean, we're at like 80% HP, right? So we should be okay. I'll just grab this for you and then this for you. I was about to say we'll have all these tech orbs here for Piccolo, but they're all going to change when we go into the next phase, so I suppose that doesn't really matter too much. We take damage from this. Now, the one thing that I don't know that we talked about on the stream, I think it's in that showcase, because obviously that was recorded from the stream. If anyone actually knows for sure, let me know down below in the comment section, but I don't know whether that extra part of 17's passive can activate mid-turn, because it doesn't say in his passive description, like, at the start of the turn. But not every passive that is reliant on being start of turn does say that, so I'm actually not too sure. Because if it does activate mid-turn, that makes him even better than he is already. Because if you're able to get that mid-turn and then he eats a super, especially from the Metal Cooler Core, that is potentially the difference between living and dying. So if it does activate mid-turn, that makes him significantly better than he already is. And he already is pretty good. I mean, at this point, we are now below 77% HP. We're at about, what, 72 maybe? So the only problem is Orange Piccolo does heal. So, I mean, as long as he supers this turn, it doesn't really matter who he super attacks as long as he supers, right? So I will... You do raise defense on super, don't you? Yeah, I probably should get a super attack with Gamma 1, even though it does mean picking up same type orbs here. And then Piccolo is going to get 2 key for everyone when he gets hit, so it's not like we need to worry about key for this Piccolo in the last slot, but we can just grab these 2 physical orbs anyway. So one of the team builds that I do want to try out, because I think it will be pretty cool, is this MVP 17 is on Battle of Wits, which obviously there's the 200% lead, the STR Carnival Goku, and that team has units like this Orange Piccolo and the STR Piccolo. I think that team could actually be pretty good. That team will get a significant buff when we get the anniversary and we get the EZA for the 5th year Vegito Blue, because he's unironically like one of the best units on that team, right? So that's going to be very, very good. But there you go. We ate a super with Gamma 1. Didn't really take that much damage with 100k, but in this scenario, I'll take it. I think he only has, what, Fierce Battle active with Orange Piccolo. He might have... Does Orange Piccolo have Shocking Speed? I can't remember. So yeah, that's good. And so now we have MVP 17's full passive active. Of course, he can't super attack here, so that's great. But he's at 375k with just these 3 links active and no defensive support. Because remember, Gamma 2 gives all allies extra attack, and then Gamma 1 gives all allies extra defense. So that means on this turn we've got 375k defense, but we also have 57% damage reduction. So I think what we can do is we can grab these. The only thing that will be a little bit scary here is if Gamma 2 eats a super in the last slot. He probably will die, depending on how many supers he gets off. I mean, he has 563k defense now, and on his best turn he can super, what, like 5 times? So he actually could survive a super from the Metal Cooler Core if he supers enough. But ideally I want to see Metal Cooler Core super attack Android 17. And remember, this is like a worst case scenario turn for him as well, because he's sealed and he does raise defense on super attack. So his defense would be up around just over 400k with that extra damage reduction. So no super, come on, super 17 right here. There's the dodge. Alright, so only normals. Of course he takes double digit damage. I mean, that's what we would expect, right? With these EZA units, especially when they've got some decent defensive links active, we would obviously hope that they're taking double-digit damage from normal attacks from these red zone bosses. But ideally, I do want to see him eat a super if possible. But definitely not Gamma 2. There's another super. Is this going to be enough? That's 8.1 million as well. Gamma 2 is very good. I mentioned this in the other showcase, but my Gamma 2 only has 1 dupe as well. This guy can put out some serious numbers. But he might be about to bite the big one here. How much is this going to do? Yeah, 929k. He is not the defensive unit out of the 2. So let's jump back in here when we actually are on the Metal Cooler Core phase and see if we can get 17 to eat a super. Okay, so I'm actually going to pick it up back here. We jumped straight in for a second attempt, and you can see MVP 17 was on turn 2. But because of the super attack placements on the first turn, we are actually on, below 77% HP on this turn already. So we can see here with, again, no defensive support, he's starting off at 250k defense, which isn't a huge amount, but obviously he has that 57% damage reduction now. So I want to see how well he can do here. Hopefully the first attack isn't a super, because remember, he is going to build up here. With each of these hits that he takes, build up his defense. So there's a dodge. This is, again, going back to what I was saying about the full dodge build. Mine has 24 dodge, which means he has a 24% chance to dodge. as you can see from the hits that we took there, that absolutely does not mean that you're going to dodge every single time. Like, a lot of people see a unit that needs to get hit to get built up and immediately think, oh, if you put any dodge on this unit, like, you're doing it wrong. But this guy needs to get hit 3 times and that's it, right? And literally both of these turns that we've had so far in this event, he's been hit 3 times on his first appearance. So now his passive is fully maxed out, which means defensively he is at his peak at all times, depending on our HP, right, whether he has his full passive or not. But he now still has 24% chance to dodge an incoming super. Obviously, I could have given him a little bit more, but I gave him a little bit of additional as well. I do like the defense raise on super and the fact that he's greatly lowering attack and defense. There are, of course, some events where that is incredibly useful. So, I mean, I don't think if you give him a build where you go full additional, I don't think that is necessarily, like, the wrong build for him. But I do like the full dodge build for this guy. I think it does make sense. So, alright, so we'll do this, and then we'll do this. We'll get the rotations back to the way they were in the previous one. This does work out very nicely here for us as well, because it means we are staying at this roughly around 70% HP threshold. So we still have the full passive active for MVP 17. Hopefully we can go into this first turn of the actual Metal Cooler core here and have 17 heat a super. It's one of those things, I guess on this team, can we run? No, with the AGL Gamma leads we can't run Physical Piccolo, because that would obviously be very useful for the Scouter effect. One thing you can do, actually, the recommended friend for this team, built exactly the way it is actually another LR Piccolo, because technically every single unit on this team is a Superheroes unit, or Battle of Wits, which is the other 170 lead for LR Piccolo. I think it's only STR Piccolo, right, that isn't a Superheroes unit on this team build. Yeah. So, in terms of, like, the optimal way to build the team, if you just need to beat this event, like say you haven't actually beaten the Metal Cooler Core for the first time, I feel like LR Piccolo friend would make more sense. It's just the fact that obviously because we're trying to showcase the performance of MVP 17, he doesn't get the 200% leader skill from LR Piccolo. He's only getting the 170 from the superheroes part, right? So yeah, Gamma 2 eating the super from the Metal Cooler army for double-digit damage. Very, very good. And then God Goku. I mean, God Goku can't take damage from a movie boss. If you get 2 rainbow orbs and he's super attacked first, he's not taking damage from these guys. Alright, so... Oh, of course, Gamma 1 is sealed. Alright, well, I guess if I play out the turn like this, we get solid support from Piccolo for some extra attack. Where do we think the super attack is going to be? Is it going to be in slot 1? Or there's 4 attacks here in the middle that we can put 17 in front of? I kind of wish, for those of you who played the game like a long time ago, they fixed this in an update years ago, but for anybody who remembers, you used to be able to, if you quit out of the app mid-turn and then loaded it back up, you actually started from like before you actually finished like playing out the turn. And obviously, as you probably know now, if you quit out the app once you've picked up the orbs for the last unit and then you reopen it, you will just go back to like now where this turn is already starting. I kind of wish we could still do that, because for instances like this, it would help you to deliberately put someone in front of a super to see how much damage they will take. But we didn't get supered in slot 1, so that does give me some hope here. Although, what's the betting? It's just going to be Gamma 2 that gets supered again. So 8.5 million for 17 with that extra bit of attack from solid support. It's definitely very, very good. We got the additional, but it was only a normal. That's the other downside about going full additional with characters that you want to get, like the additional defense on super, is they can just get the additional from the hidden potential, and then it's just a normal attack. So he's actually going to super Gamma 2, isn't he? Or either that, or he's just not supering on this first turn, which would be nice, but... Oh my god. Alright, well, it looks like without a Scouter active, we're not going to see physical MVP 17 eat a super, but I do want to try out this event with the Battle of Wits team. I want to make like a proper video for it, so I don't want to just jump in and do a run now, but this is the team that I'm thinking of going with, so let me know what you guys think. Obviously, like AGL Pycon, we're kind of using him just for the support and the Ghost Usher ability. As long as he can dodge and not take a lot of damage against the army, then obviously once you get to the core, you can just use his active skill and then you can be in a pretty good spot. So let me know what you guys think. 17, obviously very strong showing against the Metal Cooler Core. If you get the full damage reduction, like, we will get to see him eat a super, right? I am going to get this in here somewhere, but let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.